What's up you guys, hope you're all doing good and welcome to our Train channel once again. For those who are visiting our channel for the first time, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Jagdish, a software developer with around 10 years of experience. If you're interested in learning Java from the fundamentals, consider subscribing to our channel and check out our videos. In this video, we are going to talk about Java in specific and how much Java can be learned actually in less than 10 minutes. Let's get started. So to begin with, we have a timer and we have an editor called as Eclipse. So here is where we are going to code it. So we will see like how much of a Java we can cover in under 10 minutes. Let's hit the timer. First, I'm going to create a class in Java. So all the code is going to be in terms of classes, and let the name of my class be Java intent. Don't forget to check in public static void main, as the execution will start from the main method. First, to begin with the comments, this is what is called as a single line comment in Java. Comments are something which are not going to be executed by the compiler. It is used for giving more information about that particular line of code. There are three kinds of comments. A single line comment. If you wanted to type something in multiple lines, then you can make use of this particular code. So all these things will be considered as comments in Java, will not be executed. And if you wanted to type in more information about a method or a class, then you can make use of a Java document, which will not even tell about the purpose of the class, but it will also tell about the input arguments of the particular method and the return type of the method. Then let's talk about data types in Java. Data types can be broadly categorized into two types, a primitive and non-primitive data types available in Java. Let's talk about the primitive data types. So integer. So for example, if you wanted to store a whole number, then you can make use of integer, or you can make use of long, or you can make use of long, or you can make use of a short, or you can make use of byte data types. All these data types are used for storing the whole numbers. So based on the range of your number, you can decide the data type. And for storing in decimal numbers, you can make use of a double, or you can make use of a float in Java. Similarly, for storing the characters, you can make use of the char keyword, and the character should be within a single quotes. Similarly, there is one other data type called as a Boolean data type, which is used for storing either true or false in Java. Now let us talk about variables in Java. So we have spoken about the data types, and this particular A is what is called as a variable. So variable is nothing but it is a temporary storage space for storing your value. So this is how you have to declare your variable. A data type followed by the name equals the value, so that the right hand side value will get assigned to your left hand side variable. And coming to non-primitive data types, we have several non-primitive data types called as a referential data types available in Java. So one such important data type is called as a string in Java. So let's define a string variable. Name is equal to Sam. So this is a string variable, and string in other words is called as an object, in the sense like there are plenty of options or the methods that is provided by string in itself, like the caret, code point. Like you can make use of any of the methods which is given by string over here. For example, we have two lowercase, two uppercase, and you can find the length. So there are plenty of inbuilt methods which is provided by the string, which you can make use of. And there is one other non-primitive data type called as arrays in Java. So arrays are nothing but it is a collection of elements of a similar data type. How to define an array? So array will be like the data type followed by the square braces, the name of the array equal to new the data type, and you have to define the size of the array inside, after which you cannot change the size of the array. And arrays can be of different types. If you want to be a character array, you can define it as a character array, or if you wanted to make use of a string array, you can make use of the string array. So just to change the data type, and then you can, if you know the elements of the string, you can directly make use of a curly braces and you can define the string. How can you iterate the elements of a string? You can iterate the elements of a string by making use of the for loop. I am using enhanced for loop for iterating this name array, where you can go and print in each element of array like this. And now let us talk about conditional statements which are available in Java. So what are conditional statements? These are very important statements, otherwise called as a control statement, which are used for executing a set of statements based on a specific condition. For example, if you have the mark of a student as 75, and if you wanted to say that if the mark is more than 50, I wanted to call this particular student if the mark is more than 50, I wanted to call this particular student as a good student, then I can make use of the conditional statements which are available in Java. And if you don't want that to happen, you can write something under the else block. And there are various ways by which you can use the if statements. You can also have else if. You can type in one more condition. At the same time, inside the if block, you can have one more if statement, and you can call those as the nested if statements. In general, these are control statements which are used for executing a statement based on a specific condition. Now let us talk about loops in Java. So what are loops? Loops are nothing but they are used for executing a set of statements again and again on repetitive basis based on a specific condition. In loops, there are three important parts, like you have the initialization, you have the condition checking, and you have the incremental or the decremental. So we have three kinds of loops, like we have the while loop, and we have do while loop, and we have the for loop available in Java. So to explain about while loop, here for while loop, initialization will happen outside and condition checking will happen over here, and your statements you can execute it over here inside the while block, and your iteration also can happen within the while block. I plus plus, it can happen over here. So I think there is some problem the editor. Yes, you can type in whatever you want in this while block. So this will get iterated 10 times based on the specific condition. Similarly, there is one other loop called as a do while loop. So where you have to change the syntax to this, where the same thing will happen. And similarly, there is one other loop called as the for loop, where the initialization, the condition checking, and the incremental or the decremental, everything will happen on the same thing, and you can type in or you can do whatever you want to inside this particular thing. So loops are used, like as we have seen in the previous example, it can be used for iterating collections or arrays, whatever it is, and it plays a very important role in Java. Now let us talk about methods in Java. So methods are like, suppose if you have a method like private void sum, okay, private void sum, and this particular method, so I'm going to print in something like 4 plus 5. Suppose if I have two variables like int a equals 3 and if I have int b equals 8, and I can print in like a plus b, and you can call this particular method by making use of the method name which is available in Java. So what happens, like it will call private void, it will ask it to change it to a static because this is calling it from the static method. So what is called as a method in Java? So methods are used for improving the modularity. Instead of writing all the codes line by line in a specific place, you can split it into different methods so that this particular method can be accessed from anywhere within the class or outside the class. It is used for improving the modularity. And now let's come to operators in Java. Here we did a simple operation called as a sum, a plus b. If you want to do subtraction, you can make use of the minus. If you want to do multiplication, you can use star. Division, you can make use of the slash. And if you want to do the modulo operation, you can make use of the modulo operator. And is this a equals 3 is what is called as an assignment. You are assigning a right hand side value to a left hand side variable. Similarly, there are various operators like increment and the decrement operators. A plus plus is an increment operator, and you can also do a minus minus for making use of the decrement operators. Similarly, there are logical operations which are available, like you have a AND operator, you have NOT operator, and you have the OR operator for checking the conditions based on the Boolean values. For example, if I have the Boolean variable like Boolean val equals to true, and if I wanted to change the value to false, and if I do the NOT operator, this will change the value of true to false. And if you wanted to do the condition check with the two variables, then you can make use of AND operator, or you can make use of the OR operator. So OR operator is a condition which will return true if both the conditions are satisfied. For example, if you have a val and if you have like the val. So here, if I wanted to execute something, if I have two variables and if I use of the AND operator, only if both the conditions are satisfied, then this particular statement will get true and this statement will get executed. If you want at least one of the statement to be true for executing your statement, then you can make use of the OR operator. So here, how can the condition be? So your condition can be like your mark is greater than 50. At the same time, if your grade is whatever, if your grade is greater than 76, whatever you have to. So only if these two conditions are satisfied, If you wanted to this statement executed, you can make use of the AND operator, or else you can make use of the OR operators which are available. Now let us talk about access modifiers available in Java. There are three kinds of access modifiers available. You have the private access modifier, we have the public access modifier, and we have the protected access modifiers. If you define your method as a private access modifier, then this method can be accessed only within this particular class. If it is a public, this method can be accessed even from outside the class. But if it is a protected, it can be accessed within that same package, but it cannot be accessed outside the package, and it can be accessed only by making use of its child class. So to be very simple, we have three types called as a private, public and protected. Private within the same class, public even from outside the class, protected only by its child class, which are available in Java. Bingo. Hope you found this video informative. We have reiterated, or we have come across some of the basics of Java programming, like we've spoken about comments in Java, data types, variables, conditional statements, loops, strings, arrays, methods, various kinds of operators, and the access modifiers in 10 minutes. We also have an extensive video about each and every topic in our channel, but this is just an initiative to make you aware everything in bits and pieces. Hope you found this video informative. If you really like this concept of learning Java in under 10 minutes, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. We will meet you in more exciting videos soon. Thank you.